Hey everyone, it's Mary Ann from the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees. I want to start sharing with you a few videos with the New York City Transit MTA workers, Aetna Medicare Advantage plans. So one of the things that we keep getting is pushback from their president, Richie Davis, or from Peter Donahue, their PR guy, and some of the union loyalists who really don't understand the difference between traditional Medicare and Medicare Advantage. And they're insisting that their plan takes care of them, even though there are aspects of it that are troublesome. And they don't know the difference, and it's understandable, but we're trying to explain it to them. Well, one of the things that came out a couple of weeks ago is that they pay for retirees that go to Memorial Sloan Kettering and Hospital for special surgery. And one of the things that we found is that those providers are not in the network. And we kept saying to them, you don't understand. Just because you have out-of-network benefits and your copay is the same doesn't mean that that's all you will pay. So we did a couple of calls with some retirees that are in their current Medicare Advantage plans, talking to them about the plan that they would be in, which ironically is the same H5522 contract that the City of New York retirees are in. So they can keep saying the plan is better than the retirees plan for the city. It's still the same caca. Okay, now I want you to listen to this first audio call so as not to make this video too long. This is a call I did with a New York City MTA retiree regarding Memorial Sloan Kettering. Now, I want to be honest. We had to chop out chunks of time that we were on hold because they kept us on hold for so long. It was so prohibitive. That call was an hour and a half long. So to make it brief, we chopped it down. And this will be about 10 minutes. So I want you to listen to just this call so that you can listen. We made like 3 separate videos because we talked about 3 separate hospitals. This one is Memorial Sloan Kettering. So now let's share this call with you.
Thank you for calling the Aetna Medicare Advantage Member Services Team for MTA New York City Transit retirees. This call is being recorded for quality and other healthcare operations purposes. For questions about your new plan benefits, starting on January 1st, or to register for an informational meeting, press or say 1. If you are a current MTA Aetna Medicare Advantage plan member and have questions on your current plan, press or say 2. Do you have your 12-digit member ID number? Press 1 for yes. Press 2 for please enter or say the member's 12-digit ID number. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
To request a replacement ID card, say ID card. Please hold while I transfer your call. Hello, good afternoon. This is Debbie. Do I have the pleasure to speak with the member?
Yes, I have a couple of questions about the new coverage that I'm going to get on January 1st. The first thing is, I'd like to know if a hospital, Memorial Sloan Kettering, is actually in network on my new plan starting in January.
All right, and the name of the hospital is Memorial
Sloan Kettering.
And okay, so your address is Florida.
I have 2 addresses, dear.
Okay.
I have one in
Let me
New
do a little bit more of digging because all the providers that I'm gonna see on your account are located in Florida. So give me a few moments and I'm gonna do a little bit more of digging for this hospital.
Yeah.
What's the other question you have?
I have a couple of questions. I need to know New York for my treatments when I had them and for my exams. So I need to know if Memorial Sloan Kettering is in network with the Aetna option 2 that I have starting in January, and the hospital for special surgery. I need to know if they are in network also.
Okay, can I put in hold just for a minute while I'm doing this investigation for you?
Sure. I don't understand that.
Me neither.
That
That
doesn't
means
make-
that-
what's so hard to look up if it's a network or not?
That means that they will pay for doctors, and this is what we're finding. I believe what they're going to tell you is that they'll pay for doctors that are consultants, but not oncology surgeons. I bet you that's what it is.
Thank you so much for holding. So
Yes.
with the hospital, the Memorial Hospital for Cancer and in New York, that one is working with your plan. And the location for that one is 1275 York Avenue in New York. Okay.
Okay, now that's what I need to know. Is that the actual hospital or is that a provider in his own office?
No, this is the hospital.
This is the hospital itself.
Memorial Hospital for Cancer and Alien Disease.
Okay,
So they have a lot of different locations that probably some services are in one location, some other services are in another location. It's just depending how the hospital is structured itself. So that's why I'm asking you in regards to physicians because, I mean, this is the hospital located on that address, but they have a lot of different addresses all over the New York
right.
area.
So you wouldn't accept the one at 225 Summit Avenue then?
Let me see Summit. I don't see the Summit Avenue. Just the one on the. But this is the Summit Avenue. That's New Jersey.
Right, but it's still Memorial Sloan Kettering in Bergen. So if we went to that facility, then that wouldn't be covered. We'd have to go to the one on York Avenue, is what you're saying.
It is not working with the network. Now he has benefits in and out of the network. So at the rate, let's say for example, he's gonna have done a surgery, for example. So for surgery. So if he get inpatient at the hospital, he doesn't have any co-payments for inpatient stay in and out of the network. So it's the same rate. What happens with providers out of the network is that sometimes they don't deal with the billing process with the insurance because they don't have a contract. So they require for a payment up front. So the member can get reimbursed after that. But with that, the insurance will reimburse the maximum rate allowed by Medicare, and that may cost a little higher rate for the member because Medicare usually pays less than they want to charge. So that's why they don't working with the plan.
Oh, okay. So the member would have to pay the
That's the
difference.
only difference. Exactly. But you have that freedom if you feel comfortable with any of those providers, or if you want to stay there, even though that address is not working with your plan because you like it, you have the choice to visit it and have the service done there.
But
Okay,
pay
but-
more. But
Right, I would
pay
have to
more.
pay the difference, correct?
Exactly. Yes. Might be not. Sometimes if they bill the insurance directly, you will not have to worry about that.
Oh, okay. So if they accept whatever Aetna gives them, then
Exactly.
nothing would come out of pocket for me.
Exactly, correct. Like inpatient hospital, for example. Let's see. What type of service do you think you're gonna receive here, like chemotherapy?
Well, yes, if anything, I would have to receive chemo or radiation.
radiation.
Yes,
So for chemo administration, your copayment for providers in and out of the network is $5.
it's a $5 copayment. Okay,
Yes, yes. In or out of the network should be the same.
and that would be per visit, correct?
Every time, yes, correct. So every time you go, your copayment will be $5.
Okay. All
And
right,
do
what's,
prior authorization for going there?
Probably yes, just depending on the service. What I suggest is first, once you have set up your services on that location, let your provider know that even though you are a PPO, you have benefits out of the network, you prefer to stay in the network. So they can inform you what providers are out of the network so you can be aware and ask if they bill the insurance directly, accepting the maximum rate by Medicare, or if they require for a payment of front. So you can avoid any surprise.
okay,
Now, so this was very disturbing. To take in almost 10 minutes alone to narrow that video down, that was well over 40 minutes to just find out about what was covered in Memorial Sloan Kettering. Now, he's healthy, he's alert, he's awake, he's not ill, he's not struggling. You put a senior or someone who has severe disabilities with trying to navigate this information, that was painful. And then for her to say, well, it depends what the services is. In another video, we actually asked what was subject to prior authorization, and she wouldn't tell us. It's confidential. She can't give us that information. So the other information that President Davis from TW Local 100 and Pete Donahue, their PR guy, was putting out was, well, they were giving statistics as to that they were covering people in Medicare Advantage plans, their current Medicare Advantage plans right now at Memorial Sloan Kettering. So I want to talk about that for a moment because that video was painful to watch. It was even more painful to actually be on. Like I said, we were in that call for about an hour and a half to ask 3 questions. And she had to keep putting us on hold and looking things up and asking questions that made absolutely no sense. And then she wanted to frame it that they're working with your plan, but she wouldn't say that they're not in the network until we actually put her against the wall to say, are they in network or out of network? Because as she finally did admit, that if they're out of network, you'll still pay the same copay, but you also have a co-insurance as you might have to pay them up front. And then the Aetna plan will probably only reimburse up to whatever they approve to reimburse up to the Medicare rate. So that is disingenuous. It's a lie, it's misleading, and it's insulting to people's intelligence, and have to actually be dealing with that when you're sick. When you don't have to deal with that in traditional Medicare, I don't even know what to say about that because that's just wrong. So some of the stats that they gave us for 2023 was that those members in option 1, that 64 members were in option 1, went to Memorial Sloan Kettering, and Aetna in 2023 paid $1 million. That's still not a lot of money. And then in option 2, 127 people went to Memorial Sloan Kettering, and they paid $1.2 million. So now you have twice the amount of people going to Memorial Sloan Kettering, but they still only paid about $1 million. What does that say to me? They're not getting cancer treatment, because if you took the $1.2 million divided by 127 people for the 12-month duration, that's less than $10,000 a person. My treatments are about $87,000 a month. So I'm telling you right now, they're covering you for something, but then these people are not getting the treatment that they would have gotten had they been in the CPPO plan where they can go anywhere they wanted to. And that's the problem. Because when you're sick and you're getting older or more disabled, you will need more doctors. And if those doctors are not in the network, then you're navigating phone calls like this. You're navigating trying to find doctors that would take your plan, and that's criminal. So I'm going to say it again, protect traditional Medicare. Stop union leadership from being lied to and then perpetuating the lie that Medicare Advantage plans are just as good as or equal to traditional Medicare. They are not. And that's one proof, and more is coming, Mr. Davis and Mr. Donahue and everyone else who's listening. So that's what we're here for. Educate and prove to you when you're being lied to, and providing that fact checking using their very own vendor with their very own call company, with their very own retiree who's already in one of their plans. Can't hide from facts, baby.